welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm talking about self-worth and net worth. Now it's so common for us to decide our self-worth depending on our net worth, depending upon how much money we have in our bank account, how we handle our finances, how we handle our investments, do we have money to splurge on vacations, luxury holidays, luxury bags and whatnot. Right? And it's a very common trend that we also see in our society where we compare ourselves with others depending on just finances and sometimes also the way they look and their status in the society, right? And we use all of these indicators to determine our self-worth. Well, I'm here to tell you that is not the way you decide your self-worth. And actually, your self-worth is not determined by any of those. You don't need to have a lot of money or look a certain way to have a self-worth that is of that value. But here's what I'm going to say. Your net worth is determined by your self-worth, but your self-worth is not. So let's get into it and let's see what actually creates your self-worth and why is self-worth even important. Now, self-worth is the belief that you're valuable regardless of your traits, regardless of the way you look, and regardless of your financial statement. If you notice, self-worth is a lot to do with your inner game. It's a lot to do with your self-image and how you see yourself. And because this is not one of those topics that was spoken openly while we were growing up or not even included in our school, right? We never thought about it. It's something that has subconsciously been building up in our life until now. And subconsciously, what happens is we adapt to social conditioning. We see what people are doing and we think that's the right way. So it might be very common that we see somebody who is having a luxurious life, who is spending times in luxurious vacations, beautiful bags, beautiful clothes, and we assume that their self-worth is really high, and in comparison to that, we are nothing. Because we cannot afford to do those things. Now, all of this is subconscious conditioning. Many of us have not consciously told ourselves that we cannot be in that level. We are not worthy of that level. But we have subconsciously adapted the belief that we are not. And through this video up until now, 2 minutes, 3 minutes in, you might be understanding that these thoughts are in you. They are somewhere hidden, and that is why you behave a certain way, you act a certain way, and it's really hard for you to get behind certain ideas. Now that we have sparked that thought in your mind, I want you to dig a little deeper and ask yourself, is it really true that I'm not worthy? Because that's what we're telling ourselves. Let's talk about money, right? When we hear a huge amount of money, we automatically tell ourselves, yeah, that sounds amazing, but I don't see myself as someone who's going to get that much amount of money tomorrow or very soon or ever, right? That's your conditioning. That's where your self-worth is coming in. You are automatically putting in a meaning to the situation and to your self-worth. Your self-worth is very powerful. Your worthiness determines if you can reach a certain amount of net worth, if you can reach a certain amount of financial goal. Now, keep in mind, your self-worth could be different in different areas of your life. In this particular example, I'm only speaking about finances because I'm comparing it with net worth. But keep in mind that we could have different levels of self-worth in different areas of our life. So for example, your self-worth in maybe your relationships might be really high. You know that you are deserving of amazing relationships. And it could be the other way around as well. And then there could also be a subside to these self-worths. There could be maybe your self-worth around your ability to learn, your ability to grasp knowledge might be very high. Do you see how there are different levels of self-worth in different areas of your life? So this is a very good understanding. When you look at something and you feel you're not worthy about it, ask yourself, where am I putting my self-worth? Why do I feel I'm not worthy? And you will realize that in this area in your life, you feel unworthy because you're telling yourself you're not worthy of it. But in another area, let's say family, you feel very worthy. And it's probably because you have been showered with love for all your life, and love is all you know. You know only worthiness in that area. So it's easier for you to understand that your self-worth in your family might be very high. Now that's just an example. It could either be completely opposite for you or look completely different, or it could be exactly what I'm telling you. All right. So reflect on what's true for you and notice, where are you putting your value? Now, I want to point out that your net worth is determined by your self-worth, even though your self-worth is not determined by your net worth. This is why. Your net worth is the amount of finance you have, the amount of money you have, right? And in life, you are not going to get anything which you feel you're not worthy of. So in some level, you've got to believe that you're worthy of this amount of money, this person, this type of life, and only then will you have that type of life, that amount of money, or that person. The amount of money that you currently have in your bank is only there because you see yourself as you're worthy of earning that amount of money. If you want to earn more, if you want to be in this level where you can invest more, where you can bring in way more money, you've got to see yourself as a person who is capable of that, who is valuable enough to have that type of money, who is worthy enough. And these are those blocks that most of us encounter. Even the super rich encounter this when they start playing with a bigger number, right? When you have, let's just take an example. If somebody has just hit their first 1 million, to hit their next 1 million or the next 5 million, they've got to start seeing themselves worthy of that number. Now, it might be easy for them to get to their next 1 million because they've already done it. So they have proof. So it's easier for the logical side of your brain to get behind that I can make this happen. But the test comes and your strength is tested when your logical side cannot make any meaning out of it. That's where your self-worth comes in. That's where your belief in your ability kicks in. So once you bring that part in, once you stand strong in your strength and your belief that I can make this happen, that I am destined to have this kind of life, this amount of money. Once you bring that belief in, your self-worth goes way up and it becomes easier for you to reach that goal because now you've opened this door to possibilities because you're looking at yourself as a person who is valuable of these things. There is also a concept of self-love that ties in with your self-worth. Your ability to love yourself enough and to see yourself valuable plays a huge role in your self-worth. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. It can be easy to love yourself if you allow yourself to love yourself. Yes, a lot of us have had experiences where it is really hard for us to portray, to express love to our own self. But it is not impossible. And I want you all to slowly start practicing the concept of self-love. And self-love is not just buying yourself some amazing things or treating yourself to expensive restaurants or food. Yes, it is a part of it, but it's more to do with your ability to see yourself as good enough, to see yourself as somebody you love. And once you can do that, you can get behind the idea of worthiness. You can get behind the idea of I am worthy of everything I want. You can get behind the idea that if I have a desire, that means there is something in me which is worthy of receiving that desire. And once you can do that with your self-love, with strength, with seeing yourself as worthy, your self-worth raises up. And it opens all these possibilities in all other areas of your life and starts bringing in opportunities, situations, people into your life to reach your goal. Whether that be the goal of your net worth, the goal of reaching a certain amount of money, having a certain type of life, having a certain type of partner, having a certain type of family. All of that is achievable, but first it needs to begin within. Once you have your self-worth looked at, once you can raise that vibration, everything else raises and it becomes easier to achieve your goals. So in conclusion, your self-worth determines your net worth, but your net worth does not determine your self-worth. And it's an inner game, and if you can get in on the inner game and understand how to play the inner game by loving yourself, by increasing your own value, you can achieve anything in life. Awesome. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I would love to read your comments in the comment section below, so put them down there and I'll see you in the next one.